Hi, my name is Jacoby Ertman, and today I will be summarizing the use of giving voice to values methodology related to the Gateway Hospital case study. Little background. Troy and his newly hired direct report, Kristen, both attend the same Healthcare Administrators Conference in Orlando, Florida. The conference is held at the end of March, which also happens to be spring break for Troy's kids. Troy and his wife decide to make it a family vacation to Disney World and SeaWorld at the same time of the conference. The for-profit hospital Troy and Kristen work for have a published expense reimbursement policy that covers meals up to a specified dollar amount if the conference doesn't provide one. The hospital culture is lax. Policies are not followed to the letter, and management doesn't examine submitted reimbursement requests well enough to ensure they follow the stated policies. It is also common practice for inflated expense reports to be submitted and paid. Neither Troy nor Kristen's expense reports matched, which raised questions having attended the same conference at the same time. Joyce, the head of accounting, approaches Kristen to ask why Troy's report is so much higher. Kristen decides she's going to discuss the situation with Troy before responding to Joyce. People typically use common arguments to rationalize their choices. These 5 arguments include the expected or standard practices argument, claiming that everyone else is doing it, so why can't I? Materiality argument justifies one's choices because it doesn't really hurt anyone. The locus of responsibility argument passes the buck, claiming that it's not their responsibility. I was just doing what I was told. Locus of loyalty focuses on not hurting those close to them at the expense of others, saying, it's okay, it's not fair to that other team as long as my team doesn't get hurt. And isolated incidents highlight that it's just a one-time event and that it won't happen again. Using the giving voice to values methodology, Kristen wants to be prepared to have this argument with Troy. Developing her argument, Kristen must anticipate the reasons and rationalizations Troy will use to explain or justify his actions. First, what common argument will Troy use? Troy may use the isolated incident, arguing that it's just this once. He's never done it before, he won't do it again. Troy may also argue that it's expected in standard practices, that others at work regularly inflate their expense report, so why can't he? Troy may use the locus of loyalty, trying to justify it because he feels entitled to a well-deserved family vacation, considering all the time he spends traveling for work and is away from his family. Troy may claim materiality and ask for understanding. His family vacation was more expensive than he and his wife anticipated, and the hospital can afford it more easily than he can, so in the end it doesn't really hurt anyone. Kristen will then need to remind Troy what is at stake if he follows through with his current course of action. Troy's reputation is on the line, not only with his family, but also with Kristen, their colleagues, other direct reports, and managers as well. Troy may also face consequences up to and including termination due to his dishonesty. Next, Kristen needs to arm herself with the right levers that she will be able to use to effectively voice her values to Troy. Kristen could tell Troy that if he doesn't fess up to Joyce, she'll do it for him. Kristen could remind Troy of the value he places on his family and how he could struggle to provide for them if he lost his job. She could also emphasize that the money that will be put back into Troy's pocket will not make up for the damage done if he is dishonest. Lastly, Kristen must also be armed with the most powerful and persuasive response she can use to address Troy's reasons and rationalizations. Kristen needs to be prepared to appeal to Troy's desire to be a good father and family man she believes him to be, and remind Troy that the value of maintaining his integrity is worth far more than the few extra meals and one-night hotel stay expenses he would get. This concludes my summary of giving voice to values methodology and how it applies to the Gateway Hospital case study. I hope that you enjoyed something, that you learned something new, and thank you for listening. Have a good night.